Hello everyone, it's Sunday evening again and we are back to the charts. Let us start again from the monthly chart of ES. We see that we are above the 50% of this current range of this month. We have the low somewhere around 5120 here, and we have the high of this month at 5601. The midpoint of the month is 5362.5, and last week we managed to close above that. So if we keep going up, we may find some kind of resistance around 5432 on the monthly chart. The next resistance area can be here, which is at 5323 to 5335. This will be the next sell zone that we may find, and above that we may go up to 5558 and then to 5574 and 5601, which is again the high of the current month. So we will have to see how this month ends. After this long move to the upside, we are having this red month. So one red month does not mean anything, right? And if you see here, we are going and sitting above this 813 cloud again, which is again bullish in this context that we have. So it is highly possible that we close somewhere near the close of the last month and then keep going up. But at this point of time, we will have to keep in mind that these are the different areas which can act as a support and resistance on the monthly chart. There will be some kind of support here as well, which is in the 5298 area. Also on the monthly chart, if we see that starting from December, we are in this channel. We try to break down this channel. Again, this midpoint of the month is also the channel breakdown line. Where it go below that, and then we can say that we kind of tested this breakout area that we had and we bounced up again. So if we can hold this 62.5 level, which is the midpoint of the month, as well as the point where the monthly chart is crossing over this lower trend line, if we can hold this, there is a possibility that we can still get going up. And then the channel breakout rule may come into the picture and we may come and retest these highs once again. We can even go higher, but we will have to see what happens at that point of time. Now, I also do not think that there will be a new high that will be created for this month. Again, that is just because of the ATR. When we finished the last month's candle, the ATR was at 312 points. The stretch of this candle is already more than 400 points. So now we will have to see where the candle closes, how the candle closes by the end of the month, and then understand what the chart is trying to convey to us. If we close the month strong, even if the month is bearish, but it has a very small bearish body, there is a chance that we will close like the last week, and then from there we may keep going up. Now it's a pin bar, right? The last week also was a pin bar. So we have to be careful about when the next month opens, where does the price open and which direction it is taking, and from where it is getting support or rejection. So looking at the weekly chart, we are bouncing off of the 20 EMA of weekly. This will be a very important line, which is the 5351, 5350 area. This also has a good support here. Now, if we hold this support and we keep going above the high of last week, above 5383.5 or 5384, we may actually come and hit this area at 5433 to the 5440 area. And if we keep going up, then the 549697 area can be the next target, where we have a weekly micro gap, and that is also the breakdown area, should work as a strong resistance. And then again on the top we have this 5534 line. So if we see that we have a very strong leg on the weekly that came down, we are bouncing from the support, but it is highly possible that we can get another second leg down on the weekly, and we have to be careful about that. At that point of time, we will have to see that it is 5298 area. This is breaking down. There is a very big possibility that we will come and retest this 5223 to the 5334 area, failing which we will come down to this gap which we have not have a body closure yet below that. And after that, we also have another weekly gap which is still open. These are also micro gaps that are here, and then finally we can come to this support area to the 5000 zone. If we are expecting the market to go up 300 points from the close of last week, then we will come and hit this area again, which is around the 5700 area, and then we will see whether we are trying to make a new all-time high, or we are getting rejected from there and then try to get a second leg. So at this point of time, I think that the second leg on the weekly is highly possible. So if we can hold this area, the high of last week, and this EMA area overnight, we can actually bounce to these higher levels at 5432 and 5496 sometimes tomorrow or the next day. Now, it is also possible that on the weekly chart, some computers, some algorithms would look at it this way, that this was the first drop, we pulled back up. This was the second leg, we pulled back up. This was the third leg down. So we already have a wedge. In that case, the bulls may have at least a 2 to 3 legged pullback, get back inside this channel again, and then get rejected from there, and then maybe get another leg down, because technically this is still a micro channel, right? And if we say that this is the whole range that we are in, this is the low that we have, this is the high that we have. Again, this area, the 5339, 5340 area, is the 50% of this whole move. So even if we fall below this and then get above 62.5, get above 84, that means the bulls actually want to get higher, and we will have to see how far they can reach to the top. Now things become a little more clear on the daily chart. If you see here, we had 3 legs down on the daily chart. This was the first leg down. This was the second leg down. After we had the second leg down, we had a 2-legged pullback here. And after the 2-legged pullback here, this was again one more leg down. We pulled back up and then we came down here. This was the second leg down. The bears have been trapped here, and after the bears have been trapped, we posted a strong bar. And after that, we had a follow through as well. So at this point of time, we can say that as long as we do not come below this 5350 area, we can say that we are in a zone where we have broken out of this particular trading range. And if we are looking for a 1:1 of that trading range, I would be very conservative. I will try to see the high and lows of this bar, and this can actually bring us to the 5537 area, and that can happen in one single day if the bulls are serious. We will find some resistance in this area between 5448 and 5475. This was the breakdown that happened on the daily chart. I would say the resistance actually will start from here with this 5433, and we will continue till here. So once we get above this 5487, as we saw on the higher time frames also, the 543533 area will become a magnet for the price. And then above that, this will be another major sell zone that we will have. If we cross above this, maybe we will come here, but there is a higher possibility that this area will get rejected and we will come back down here, and then we can start another move, get above this, and then try to get to the top. Now on the upside of the daily chart, there are some more resistances above this 5600 line. The next one will be at 5628 on the daily chart, and then we can see 5565, and then finally we can get to the all-time high and reach this 5724 area. There is a possibility that we may break out of that as well, but that still remains to be seen. I will also keep this daily trend line on my chart, and if you see, if the price comes up here, this is the 5528 area. It may get rejected from here, but then it may support this area again and then get back up to this 5570 area. However, that will be the first break of this trend line, and it may actually get rejected from here itself. At that point of time, I will keep an eye that whether we are bouncing off this 5480 to the 5435 area. If we are not bouncing off of this area and we come down below this 5433, 5435 line again, maybe we will come down to these levels again at 5387, 5370, and then we will start another leg up. Also, this area between the 5527 to the 5536, this area I will also consider to be a kind of some minor resistance may be present here, just because this was a false breakout of this area and we came back down immediately and continued further down. So now let us take a look at what is happening on the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, if you see that we are making a expanding triangle here. Now this expanding triangle is big time looking as a bull flag. And then if we get out of this expanding triangle, we will find another expanding triangle here. There will be a area of resistance right here where we are sitting at. However, once we break out of this area, we break out of this line, mostly we will come and touch this line here. Now, if you see what happened on the 4-hour chart, this was our first leg down, then we had an inside pause bar, and then we had the second leg down, and then we had the third leg down. So this was the wedge that we had, and after that we had the first leg up, we came down, we had the second leg up, we came down, and we had the third leg up, and then we had 2 legs down. This was the first leg down, and if you see, this was the second leg down, which was really small. It did not break out this area as well. Now we are in the up move. This is the first leg up, and then we already had a 2-legged pullback on the 4-hour chart, and right now we are again trying to go up, and this time we may actually get 2 to 3 legs up to the top, reach out to this area, and then finally we can reach out to this area as well. Now, apart from whatever we saw, we will find some kind of resistance here in the 5454 to the 5433 area. Above that, we may get up to this 5433 line where we had a double top. We went above the double top and then broke it down. And if we can get above this, mostly we will get to the 5570 area like we were seeing in the daily chart as well. On the downside, this will be the first area of support, the 5531 to the 5318 area. This will be the primary area of support on the 4-hour chart. We also have the bottom of this expanding triangle, and then the major support will be at 5292 to the 5288 area, failing which we will come back to this line at the 5238 area, and then we will see how far we can go down. But at this point of time, this is looking like a bull flag. This is looking like that it is going to break out. We have an outside bar, inside bar, and an outside bar. So this is a breakout formation that we have here. Now we will have to see if we can get above this line, we get above the top here, and then we can touch these areas, have a follow through above that, come to this expanding triangle trend line and reach the 5433. So that is the kind of move that I'm looking for tomorrow. Even if we bounce down to the 5320 areas, we should pick up from here, and then as soon as we get above the top of this bar, it should run for here until and unless it wants to make a trading range inside this expanding triangle. I would also keep this bottom trend line on the 4-hour chart just in case the price wants to come down here. It wants to hit this trend, the expanding triangle trend line, the bottom trend line. And then if we drop from there, we may find some support on this particular trend line on the 4-hour chart. So now let us see what is happening on the 1-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, if you look here, you will see that this was the first leg up, this came down, this was the second leg up, we had a little bit down here, and then we had the third leg up. We created the micro channel. Once we created the micro channel, this was our first leg down. We went back up again, this was the second leg down, and after that we had another two-legged pullback to the top. If you see, this was the first leg, we came down, and then we have the second leg here. We had a two-legged pullback to the downside also. This was the first leg, we went up, and then we had the second leg down. So this was the trading range that we had, and inside this trading range, I will say this is the strongest area of support that we have. Inside this area of resistance that we have, we should not be closing below this if the bulls want to take it higher. And I am expecting that once we get out of this 5384 5385 area, we should be targeting this 5481 to the 5433 area to the top, which is the bull flag that we have here. The bull flag, the first bull flag will actually stop here. This can be said actually as the double top area on the 1-hour chart. If we can get above from here, we can get to this 5443 line. Above that, we will target the 5460, and then we have another double top here on the hourly that can be targeted, and that line will be at 5484 5485 area. So these are the areas that is easily achievable by the bulls, and then if we can get above this subsequently in this week, then we can come to this 5523 5560, and finally to this 5600 area, once again breaking which we will see that we can get to the levels higher. On the downside, we should not have an hourly close below 5329. If we close the hourly below 5329, we can come and visit somewhere between 5311 to 5306. We will have some support in the 5292 area again, and then our big support will be the 5276 to the 5260 area, failing which we will come back to the breakout line here, which is the breakout line on the hourly, which is 5240 5239, and then finally we can see at the bottom we can come down to the 5200 level. Now, if we consider that this was the whole move that happened, this is the midpoint area at 5285. So price may also come down till here and then start bouncing from here. But if this fails, then we will mostly see farther down and come to this breakout line on the hourly at 5240. At this point on the hourly chart, I will also keep this channel. If you see that we formed a wedge top here, we came down and then we are back inside this channel. We should be holding this 5362 line now, and we should try to get up. But keep an eye on this bottom line of the channel. If it breaks down, wait for it to come back up and close above it, because we are at a very critical area where this gap breakout happened, and we have not been able to close that gap completely with a body yet. So we need that to happen. We need to get above this 85 area and then continue to the upside. Let us now take a look at the RTH 5-minute chart. So in the RTH 5-minute chart, we will see that we have this kind of an expanding triangle that is getting formed here. We are kind of in the middle of it, but if we break out of this, if we break out of this, it is highly probable that we come and hit these areas at 5418 and 5418 to 20, where the RTH gap starts. If we keep on going inside the gap, we may find some resistance on this trend line, and finally we can come to this 5445 area where the RTH gap ends and keep going up from there. But I would keep in mind what is happening when the price is coming at this line. First of all, we need to get above this line as well. If you see, this was a wedge breakout. This was the first touch, second touch. We had the wedge breakout here, and now we are unable to get above this line at this point yet. But however, this is the RTA chart. We will have to see where the price opens up tomorrow morning. On the downside, these areas are very good support. The first one is the 5325 area. The next one is the 5305 to 07 area. Below that, we may come to this line, which is at 5292, and then finally the 5287 to the 84 area, below which this will be the double top breakout area. Again, this will again be a very strong support, below which we will find 5254, and then finally we can come down to the 5233 levels. And if we fail this level, we can come to this 521211 area, which was another double top. And if that double top gives up, we will come somewhere in this area between 5201 and 5191. So those are the different support and resistance levels that we have across the different time frames. You will find the links to all these charts in the description below. Based on this analysis, we will come back tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST and see how the market has moved overnight, and then decide on the plan. If you want to join that call, the link to the Google Meet is also given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as the Facebook page. You are very welcome to join there.